Thank you for that comment. Having engineers involved in road traffic accidents. That is a question I got about 20 years ago when I started studying about road traffic accidents, and I presented that to a group of medical professionals. What do engineers do on traffic accidents? I said, you all are the end users. We make bad roads, drivers end up with accidents, and you treat them. You can't handle traffic accidents without engineers. The previous one was about that. And I'm going to one more thing. Now, from previous presentations, we have seen how dangerous it is and who are the main vulnerables or critical injuries. And I'm going to address one question out of that. Why pedestrian accidents? Pedestrians are called vulnerable road users. It's not only pedestrians, motorcycle riders, push cycle riders. In Sri Lanka, we sometimes name three-wheeler drivers also as vulnerable road users because they are more vulnerable. So pedestrian accidents often is happening from a complex interplay of factors such as distracted driving, inadequate infrastructure, this is for engineers now, and insufficient pedestrian awareness, probably education, underscore the critical need for comprehensive safety measures in our urban landscapes, again engineers and architects. So engineers have a role to play in this subject. Approximately 270,000 pedestrians die in road traffic accidents or crashes worldwide each year, according to the World Health Organization. Now you heard about these statistics. I will skip this very quickly. According to WHO, we lose 1.35 valuable lives a year because of traffic accidents, and another 50 million serious injuries. You heard this enough from various percentages. Let me tell you one more thing. It is the number one cause of death for children and young adults between 5 and 29 years of age. Therefore, this subject is important. And this subject is not only important to engineers, it is important to doctors also, because you have to treat at the end of the day. And you have to spend money, and we need lawyers, we need educators. We have to follow 4 E concepts: engineering, education, enforcement, encouragement, emergency care, and emotional control. That is why everything is here. And according to the Sri Lanka traffic accident records, pedestrians contribute 30% of accidents, and motorcycle riders 33%, and pillion riders 7%. If you add pillion riders and motorcycle riders, it becomes 40%. Ladies and gentlemen, those who are working on road traffic accidents, you may know the statistics were different before 2014. You would ask me why 2014. After 2014, the main active group was pedestrians, and it turned to motorcycle riders. No final reason. I'm going to tell you why. That will become political speech. And so that is why we engineers pay more attention to provide suitable facilities for pedestrians. We have on-level crossings and grade-separated crossings. You may remember when the senior DI Ajit Rohan mentioned about the pedestrian crossings and pedestrian-involved accidents. Where do pedestrians cross? You may know sometimes, those are working road safety matters, 6% of accidents happen on pedestrian crossings. It is very national because pedestrian crossings are made for pedestrians. It is supposed to be the safest place, but it's not. Another 10% happen in bus roads while trying getting on get out. This is what is happening in Kandy. For this study, we started Kandy. Before you ask me why Kandy, it's not just because Kandy town is close to Peradeniya University. Nearly 50% of things related to road traffic accidents happen in the western province, according to the reports of the regular traffic headquarters, and 10% happen in Kandy. There's no other province reach 10%. So that is why we selected Kandy. In addition to it is close to Peradeniya University, and this is an ongoing project by my students. Unfortunately, I could motivate my students to come and do the presentation, so that is why this old man is here. And this is how the pedestrian facilities are. Now I take the blame as engineers for not paying adequate attention. It's not only engineers actually, all other policymakers also should take attention. Now, do we provide adequate facilities for pedestrians? And we have what is called grade separated pedestrian crossings. This is in Kandy. This is about the railway line. If you have watched news, you would have heard about number of rail accidents and killing pedestrians exactly this place. Despite that, can you see this footpath? It's made by pedestrians, by folks. In addition to that, pedestrians choose to cross like this, even the pedestrian like this rail. So therefore, we have to pay special attention. This is the same place again. So what is the aim of this study? The aim of this study is to find effective solutions to increase usage of grade separated pedestrian facilities. Grade separated pedestrian facilities are failures worldwide. It's a known fact. It's a known fact. It's a failure everywhere, irrespective of the economic situation of the country. But we are forced to do it because of various number of reasons. And the scope we didn't carry down because this is a pilot study, and again the study is continuing. This is a study area. We selected two types of grade separated crossings for this study. One is overhead bridge, the other one is underpasses. Both are bad for elderly people as well as injured people. You might have found some pedestrian crossings, grade separated pedestrian crossings are installed in front of hospitals, which is totally wrong again. How can we expect pregnant ladies and elderly people and injured people go down or climb up? It is legal. Anyway, these are some wrong policy makers. To conduct this study, we collected data from observations, videos and observations. These are the times what we selected during peak hours as well as off-peak hours. These are the data locations, and this is how the data summarized. We have not done any high statistical calculation. We are in the process of doing high studies and the regression analysis and trying to identify which factors contribute significantly for pedestrians to misuse these facilities. Underpasses, not too bad. Overpasses, too bad. In off-peak hours, nearly 70% of people refuse overhead crossings because you have to climb more than going down in an overhead crossing than an underpass. And this is how the refusal percentage. You can see majority refuse overpasses compared to underpasses. And sometimes it is controlled by various other factors like having a bus stop close by, having another pedestrian crossing close by, having the school or your office close by. The lowest refusal is happening in front of clock tower because it is a highly congested area. In highly congested and dangerous areas, people prefer using overpasses to underpasses, knowing that it's a life threat. So these are the factors to consider. And then refuses. In off-peak hours, people refuse more, and then when you go for the peak and off-peak hours, this is gender. Ladies may be happy to know, ladies are better than men, at least in this case. In other cases, right? Refusal rate for males are higher than female, and this is the age wise. Elderly people refuse more, obviously because they cannot climb up or climb down. So these are factors we have to consider, and this is the outcome of the questionnaire survey. We ask, why do you don't like pedestrians? These are some of the reasons. My time is up. So these are the finest, the overpass and the passes. High refusal rate is in the overpasses. Male refuse more. 60 years and older people refuse more. Age group below 12 refuse less. So these are some of the recommendations based on the study, as well as our own experience and standard handbooks for road safety. This is one of the findings of insufficient facilities for pedestrians, which lead to more pedestrians. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. Floor is open for questions. Any questions from audience? We have to wait.
Thank you very much for that interesting we are the receiving end and we are the makers. Because I think engineers and the educators and others, if they do their task well, we won't have much to do because there are wider social determinants. We are part of that. And I think in your presentation, the aim is a bit different from what we see on paper. You may have to check on that. Now, your study was mainly to quantify the acceptance and errors. But in your recommendations, you have given certain anticipated recommendations. So, have you used any qualitative methods as well? Because I see all quantitative methods. But then the recommendations are based on qualitative methods. So, are those anticipations of the investigators, or have you interviewed the pedestrians?
Yes, madam. This is the outcome of interview. We did both quantitative and qualitative, and it's not only anticipative. Actually, based on these findings, we refer standard textbook standard norms for coaching preparations. So some of the outcomes based on those standard textbooks like TRL publications, etc. So partly from the public opinion, this is a questionnaire survey we conduct. I did not try to avoid that since my time was school.
Yeah, because that was not sure much.
Yes. Sorry for that.
Actually, my question is also related to that. Even I was also curious about that. That you indicated that observation was observation covered 12,000 pedestrians nearly, and you didn't mention anything about the sampling of that your questioning component. I assume that the time constraint restricted you telling that, but you would like to know a little about that.
Sampling.
The sample and the sampling technique of the quantitative component.
Well, it is, well, you can say random sampling, but it's not purely random. Actually, we picked 4 locations covering 2 different types of, that is, 2 different types of grade separated crossings, public, non-overhead crosses and underpasses, and then we picked 2 different time slots, peak hours and off-peak hours. Pedestrian behavior and driver behavior varies based on the relativity of traffic, and based on that, we observe for time. So, we can say random or stratified, because we stratify first, knowing where the peak, knowing where the off-peak, and then we went for random sample. So, stratified and random for random sample. So, that is that. In a sample size is much more than what is required. If you go for 400 sample with 95% confidence interval, more than enough for most of the scientific studies. We have 12,000 samples. That is why I didn't try to show what is the sample size.
Yeah. Just to comment,
Yes.
In your presentation, glad to note that you have used an observational study to determine road behavior. We think should be the use observation about behavior. Thank you.
So we do a lot of studies at Kerala University. We are the leading organization in studying road safety related studies. Over 98% of our studies are based on observations. So we don't predict that without doing observations, either video observations or physical observations.